When even Donald Trump, a man who branded his own 757, was shocked by Putin's presidential jet. You know it's no ordinary plane. Nicknamed the Flying Kremlin, this airborne fortress is a blend of luxury, power and military might. Stick around because we are taking a look inside the Flying Kremlin, the palace in the sky. Vladimir Putin's aerial command center, the Ilyushin Il-96-300 PU, an aircraft so sophisticated and secretive that it's earned the nickname Flying Kremlin. This isn't just any presidential jet. This is a machine that represents over 3 decades of Russian engineering excellence, wrapped in a package that costs anywhere from $500 million to an eye-watering $716 million per aircraft. To put that in perspective, that's more than the GDP of some small nations invested in a single aircraft. But when you peek inside, you begin to understand where every penny went. The development story of this aircraft is fascinating in itself. The Il-96-300 PU traces its roots to the Il-96 airliner, developed by the Ilyushin Design Bureau in the late Soviet era as a 4-engine, long-haul, wide-body jet. The first presidential variant was introduced in the 1990s for Boris Yeltsin, but it was Vladimir Putin who began using it extensively in 2005, with subsequent expansions under Dmitry Medvedev in 2010. What makes this timeline particularly interesting is that additional units were delivered in 2012, 2014 and 2016 from the Voronezh aircraft plant, with a new unit added to the fleet as recently as 2021. But here's where things get absolutely fascinating, and this is something most people don't realize. Putin doesn't just have one of these magnificent machines, he has an entire fleet of at least 5 Il-96-300 PU aircraft. Why? Because when you're one of the most powerful men on Earth, redundancy isn't just a luxury, it's a matter of survival. Each time Putin travels, multiple identical aircraft are prepared, and the president reportedly selects which one to board at random, making it nearly impossible for potential threats to target the correct aircraft. The engineering marvel that is the Il-96-300 PU stretches an impressive 55.35 meters in length with a wingspan of 60.12 meters, powered by 4 massive Aviad Vigatel PS-90A turbofan engines that can propel this flying palace to speeds of up to 900 kilometers per hour while maintaining a range of over 10,000 kilometers. This means Putin can fly from Moscow to virtually anywhere in the world without requiring a single refueling stop, a capability that's absolutely crucial for a leader governing the world's largest country by landmass. The technical specifications become even more impressive when you consider the modifications made for presidential use. The aircraft has a maximum takeoff weight of 250 tons and features advanced avionics, including a glass cockpit with 6 multifunction LCD displays, fly-by-wire controls and sophisticated navigation systems that support Cat 3A landings. We're talking about an aircraft that can land in virtually any weather conditions at any airport in the world, regardless of visibility or atmospheric conditions. The fuel capacity alone tells a story of incredible engineering ambition. With 152,620 liters of fuel capacity, this aircraft can stay airborne for extraordinary periods, allowing Putin to conduct extended diplomatic missions or, in emergency situations, remain airborne indefinitely with in-flight refueling capabilities. The implications for crisis management are staggering. This aircraft can literally serve as a flying seat of government for as long as necessary. Now, let's talk about what makes this aircraft truly special. And this is where things get almost unbelievably luxurious. Step inside Putin's flying domain and you're immediately transported into what can only be described as a neoclassical masterpiece, featuring light tones with Russian tricolor highlights, leather furniture, walnut veneers, gold trimmings and embroidered panels. We're not talking about your typical first-class cabin here. This is an airborne palace that includes a private office where Putin can conduct the business of running Russia, multiple meeting and conference rooms for briefings with his inner circle, and even a relaxation room where the president can unwind during those marathon intercontinental flights. But wait, it gets even more extravagant. The aircraft features a mini-gym where Putin can maintain his fitness regimen at 35,000 feet, a large dining room with its own dedicated kitchen facilities, a personal bar for entertaining guests or simply unwinding after a long day of diplomacy, multiple shower facilities because comfort is paramount, and a medical unit equipped for emergency treatments should any health crisis arise during flight. And if that wasn't enough, the Flying Kremlin features a bedroom with a king-size bed, because when you're governing the world's largest country by landmass, sometimes you need to catch some sleep while crossing 11 time zones. The attention to detail is absolutely staggering. We're talking about an aircraft where even the bathroom fixtures feature gold trimmings, where every piece of furniture is custom-crafted to the highest standards, and where the very air you breathe is filtered through advanced systems designed to protect against chemical and biological threats. The interior was personally inspected by Putin during construction, ensuring that every detail met his exacting standards. This isn't just transportation. This is a mobile seat of power that allows Putin to govern Russia from anywhere in the world. What's particularly fascinating is the cultural significance embedded in the aircraft's design. The neoclassical Russian art influences throughout the interior aren't just decorative choices. They're deliberate statements about Russian cultural heritage and national identity. Every flight becomes a rolling exhibition of Russian craftsmanship and artistic tradition, projected onto the global stage wherever Putin travels. Now, while we can agree that the Air Force One is also a force to reckon with, Putin's presidential aircraft is still one that many envy. The Air Force One features a 4,000 square foot interior spread across 3 levels and particularly impressive medical facilities aboard. But the cost is still nothing compared to Ilyushin Il-96-300PU. Each VC-25A cost approximately $325 million when they were built in 1990, which translates to roughly $700 million in today's dollars when adjusted for inflation. Meanwhile, Putin's Il-96-300PU, with its estimated cost of $500 to $716 million per aircraft, represents a similar investment in presidential mobility and security. The operational complexity of this aircraft extends far beyond what most people imagine. Each flight requires coordination between multiple government agencies, military units, and international partners. The real magic of Putin's presidential jet happens when we dive into the security features that transform these aircraft from luxury jets into virtually impregnable flying fortresses. Fortress in the sky. The security features of Putin's Il-96-300PU sound like they're straight out of a science fiction thriller. First and foremost, this aircraft is equipped with laser-based anti-missile protection systems. We're talking about actual laser technology designed to intercept and neutralize incoming missiles before they can reach their target. This isn't theoretical technology from a research laboratory. This is operational defensive weaponry installed and ready for deployment at a moment's notice. The laser defense systems represent a quantum leap in aircraft protection technology. Traditional aircraft rely on chaff, flares, and evasive maneuvers to avoid incoming missiles. Putin's aircraft takes a fundamentally different approach. It actively destroys threats before they can cause damage. The implications of this technology are staggering, representing a shift from passive defense to active threat neutralization that puts this aircraft in a category entirely by itself. But that's just the beginning of this aerial fortress's defensive capabilities. The entire aircraft is coated with a special radar jamming material that helps it evade detection and makes it significantly more difficult for enemy radar systems to track its movements. Imagine an aircraft that can essentially become a ghost on radar screens. That's the level of stealth technology we're discussing here. This isn't Hollywood fantasy. This is real-world technology that's been integrated into Putin's flying command center. The stealth capabilities extend beyond simple radar evasion. We're talking about a comprehensive electronic warfare suite that can jam enemy communications, disrupt guidance systems, and create electronic noise that makes it virtually impossible for hostile forces to coordinate attacks against the aircraft. This represents a level of electronic sophistication that rivals dedicated military electronic warfare aircraft. But perhaps the most fascinating and unique security feature of Putin's aircraft, and this is something that sets it apart from virtually every other presidential aircraft in the world, is its ability to survive underwater submersion. That's right, this aircraft is hermetically sealed to such an extent that it can reportedly survive being submerged underwater, a capability that adds an entirely new dimension to emergency escape scenarios. The implications of this technology are staggering. It means that even in the most extreme circumstances, such as an emergency water landing, the aircraft can maintain life support for its occupants. The underwater survival capability represents engineering that goes far beyond conventional aircraft design. We're talking about pressure-resistant seals, emergency life support systems, and structural integrity that can withstand the crushing forces of water pressure. This isn't just about surviving a water landing. This is about maintaining operational capability in environments where conventional aircraft would be completely helpless. The defensive systems don't stop there. The Il-96-300PU features an integrated anti-aircraft defense system, though the specific details of this system remain classified for obvious security reasons. What we do know is that this isn't a passive defense system. It's designed to actively counter threats that might approach the aircraft during flight. We're potentially talking about surface-to-air missile capabilities, electronic jamming systems, and countermeasures that can disable or destroy attacking aircraft. The operational security protocols surrounding Putin's aircraft are equally impressive and paranoia-inducing. Remember how I mentioned that multiple identical aircraft are prepared for each trip? Well, the security implications go much deeper than simple redundancy. Putin reportedly selects which aircraft to board at random, making it virtually impossible for potential threats to know which of several identical jets is actually carrying the Russian president. This isn't just clever, it's diabolically effective at neutralizing assassination attempts or targeted attacks. The decoy strategy extends to every aspect of presidential travel. Multiple identical aircraft fly together to obscure the president's location, with at least 3 additional aircraft prepared for international trips. We're talking about an aerial shell game played with billion-dollar aircraft, where potential attackers face the impossible task of identifying which of several identical targets actually carries their intended victim. But the security extends beyond the aircraft itself. The Il-96-300PU can reportedly summon up to 68 fighter jets from the Russian aerospace forces for protection during flight, creating an aerial armada that would make approaching Putin's aircraft a virtually suicidal endeavor for any hostile forces. We're talking about an entire squadron of some of Russia's most advanced military aircraft, forming a protective bubble around the presidential jet, including state-of-the-art fighters like the Su-35 and potentially even the 5th-generation Su-57. The fighter escort protocols follow 1970s-era rules requiring reserve jets on trips, ensuring that even if the primary aircraft encounters mechanical problems, presidential operations can continue without interruption. This level of redundancy extends to every aspect of the operation, from backup communication systems to reserve flight crews trained to presidential protection standards. But perhaps the most impressive aspect of this aircraft is its communication capabilities during crisis situations. Putin's Il-96-300PU features sophisticated communication systems that allow it to function as a mobile command center capable of directing military operations, including potential nuclear scenarios. The communication systems represent the heart of this aircraft's role as flying command centers. We're talking about encrypted satellite links, quantum-secured communication channels, and backup systems that can maintain contact with military and civilian leadership even in the most extreme electromagnetic warfare environments. The defense systems are equally impressive and largely classified, but what we do know is mind-blowing. The aircraft features laser-based anti-missile protection, a special radar jamming coating, and an onboard anti-aircraft defense system. This isn't just a luxury aircraft, it's a flying fortress designed to keep the Russian president safe in any scenario imaginable. The operational security surrounding this aircraft reads like a masterclass in paranoia and protection. Multiple identical Il-96-300PU aircraft, at least 4 to 5 units, fly together to obscure the president's location. Putin reportedly selects which aircraft to board randomly, adding another layer of unpredictability to an already complex security operation. The redundancy built into the aircraft systems is absolutely staggering. We're talking about backup systems for the backup systems, redundant power supplies, multiple independent communication networks, and fail-safes that ensure these aircraft can continue operating even when multiple critical systems have been compromised. This isn't just good engineering. It's the kind of over-engineering that's only possible when national security and the survival of world leaders are at stake. The maintenance protocols for these aircraft are equally extraordinary. Putin's aircraft are accompanied by dedicated technician crews, and if even minor issues arise, such as a non-reclining seat, the aircraft can be swapped for a backup, ensuring that every flight operates with absolute mechanical perfection. But here's one more interesting detail. The aircraft has been used for some of history's most significant diplomatic moments, including trips to North Korea in June 2024 and 2025, and mysterious unannounced flights to the United States in December 2024 and June 2025. Each journey in this flying palace represents not just travel, but a carefully orchestrated display of Russian power and prestige. How about when Putin touches down? Well, he then transitions to ground-based vehicles that are equally impressive, equally secure, and equally representative of Russia's technological capabilities and commitment to protecting its most important assets: the ultimate presidential convoy. When Putin's flying Kremlin finally reaches its destination, the security spectacle is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning a new chapter that unfolds on 4 wheels instead of wings. Vladimir Putin's ground-based chariot, the Urus Senat, a masterpiece of Russian automotive engineering that was first unveiled during Putin's 4th inauguration in May 2018. This isn't just a limousine, it's a statement of Russian technological independence and national pride, representing a dramatic shift away from the foreign-made Mercedes-Benz vehicles that previous Russian leaders had relied upon. The development story of the Urus Senat is fascinating and reflects Russia's broader ambitions for technological self-sufficiency. The vehicle emerged from the Cortege project, initiated in 2013, aimed at creating a new line of motorcade vehicles for Russian state officials. This wasn't just about building a single limousine, this was about creating a unified modular platform, EMP, designed to produce sedans, SUVs and vans, named after Kremlin towers like Senate, Arsenal and Commandant. The engineering specifications of the Urus Senat read like something from a supercar brochure, but with the added complexity of military-grade protection systems. The presidential version is powered by a 4.4-litre V8 twin-turbo hybrid engine that delivers an absolutely staggering 598 horsepower, though Putin also has access to an even more powerful variant featuring a 6.6-litre V12 engine that produces a mind-blowing 850 horsepower. We're talking about a limousine that can outperform most sports cars while simultaneously protecting its occupants from virtually any conceivable threat. The power delivery system is particularly sophisticated. The hybrid powertrain combines the massive internal combustion engine with a 62 horsepower electric motor, providing instant torque delivery that's crucial for emergency escape situations. This isn't just about performance, it's about the ability to accelerate from zero to escape velocity in the shortest possible time when lives are on the line. The dimensions of Putin's armored limousine are equally impressive. The standard presidential version measures 6.62 meters in length, making it longer than most people's driveways, while the armored version weighs an absolutely staggering 6,200 kilograms. That's over 13,600 pounds of steel, armor and luxury appointments. Some reports suggest that the fully armored presidential variant can weigh up to 7,200 kilograms, making it one of the heaviest passenger vehicles ever constructed. The engineering challenge of creating a vehicle that can carry this much armor while maintaining performance is staggering. We're talking about suspension systems designed to handle military vehicle loads, brake systems capable of stopping a vehicle that weighs as much as a small truck, and power steering systems that can maneuver this massive machine with the precision required for emergency evasion. But weight and power are just the beginning of this vehicle's incredible story. The Urus Senat features VR-10 ballistic protection, the highest level of civilian armor certification, which means it can withstand armor-piercing bullets from assault rifles and even sniper rifles. We're talking about protection that can stop rounds from AK-47s and Dragunov sniper rifles, weapons that can penetrate most armored vehicles. The VR-10 rating represents protection that exceeds what's available to most military personnel. This isn't just about stopping small arms fire, this is about surviving sustained attacks from military-grade weapons, including armor-piercing ammunition specifically designed to defeat vehicular protection. The testing standards for VR-10 certification involve sustained fire from multiple weapon systems, ensuring that this vehicle can protect its occupants even during prolonged combat engagements. The defensive capabilities extend far beyond simple armor plating. The Urus Senat features bomb-resistant underfloor protection, designed to protect against improvised explosive devices and anti-vehicle mines. The vehicle is equipped with solid run-flat tires that can continue operating even when punctured, ensuring that Putin can escape from virtually any ambush scenario. The run-flat tire technology represents a critical security feature that most people never consider. These aren't just puncture-resistant tires. These are solid rubber constructions that can continue operating at high speeds even when completely destroyed. This means that even if attackers succeed in disabling all 4 tires simultaneously, the vehicle can continue moving at escape velocity for extended distances. Perhaps most remarkably, the Urus Senat features a hermetically sealed cabin with advanced air filtration systems designed to protect against chemical and biological attacks, along with a self-contained oxygen supply that can sustain occupants even in contaminated environments. Some reports suggest that the cabin can remain airtight and even function if the vehicle is submerged underwater, adding yet another layer of protection against unconventional attack methods. The life support systems represent technology that's typically found in space vehicles or deep-sea submersibles. We're talking about atmospheric processors that can scrub chemical weapons from the air, biological filters that can neutralize infectious agents, and and backup oxygen systems that can sustain life for hours in hostile environments. This level of environmental protection means that Putin's limousine can literally drive through a chemical weapons attack while maintaining a safe, breathable atmosphere for its occupants. The interior of Putin's limousine reflects the same attention to luxury and detail that we saw in his aircraft. The cabin features plush leather upholstery, wooden inlays, and power-adjustable lounge seats with entertainment screens and massage functions. This isn't just transportation. It's a mobile office where Putin can conduct the business of governing Russia while traveling between destinations. The attention to luxury extends to details that most people would never imagine. We're talking about climate control systems that can maintain different temperature zones throughout the vehicle, entertainment systems with secure satellite connections that allow encrypted communications while maintaining passenger comfort, and seating arrangements that can be reconfigured for different types of meetings or rest periods during extended travel. The cultural significance of the Aurus Senat extends beyond its technical capabilities. The vehicle was retro-styled after the Soviet-era Zed YS-110 limousine, blending historical aesthetics with modern technology in a way that projects Russian heritage and technological advancements simultaneously. This isn't just about building a secure vehicle, it's about creating a rolling symbol of Russian national pride and technological independence. The communication capabilities of this vehicle ensure that Putin remains connected to his government even while traveling. The Aurus Senat includes secure line communication systems tailored for high-level governmental operations. The communication systems represent mobile command centers that can coordinate military operations, conduct international diplomacy, and maintain governmental continuity even during the most extreme crisis situations. These aren't just phones, these are quantum encrypted satellite-linked communication systems that can maintain secure contact with military and civilian leadership anywhere in the world. The costs associated with these rolling fortresses reflect their extraordinary capabilities. The civilian version of the Aurus Senat starts at approximately $300,000, though the presidential version's cost is classified and likely several times higher due to its specialized security features. So the true cost of this vehicle extends far beyond its purchase price. We're talking about ongoing maintenance costs that rival military aircraft, specialized training for drivers and security personnel, and logistics support that requires dedicated facilities and personnel. This vehicle represents a multi-million-dollar investment in presidential protection that continues throughout its operational lifespans. The operational protocols surrounding the vehicle are equally impressive. Reports suggest that multiple Aurus Senat vehicles are used in Putin's motorcade, with backup vehicles and decoys employed to obscure which vehicle actually carries the Russian president. The operational complexity extends to every aspect of presidential ground transportation. We're talking about advanced security sweeps, route planning that involves multiple agencies, coordination with local law enforcement, and backup plans for virtually every conceivable scenario. Each presidential journey involves hundreds of security personnel, multiple support vehicles, and logistics coordination that rivals military operations. The cultural and political significance of these vehicles extends far beyond their security functions. The Aurus Senat has been gifted by Putin to leaders like Kim Jong-un, serving as symbols of diplomatic relationships and Russian technological capability. But Putin's automotive empire extends far beyond just the Aurus Senat. His personal collection tells a fascinating story of a man who appreciates both history and cutting-edge technology. Putin personally owns a small but carefully curated collection of vintage Soviet vehicles, including the ZAZ 968, Gazi 21 Volga, and Lada Niva 4x4. The story of Putin's ZAZ 968 is particularly touching and revealing. This Soviet-era car was Putin's first vehicle, a gift from his mother. He drove it extensively before selling it to a KGB colleague. After becoming president, he reacquired the same ZAZ 968, which now resides in his garage, a sentimental gesture that shows a more human side of the Russian leader. The Gaz 21 Volga holds special significance as well. Purchased in 2005, this classic Soviet saloon gained international attention in 2006 when Putin drove former US President George W. Bush in this car during a meeting, showcasing both Russian automotive heritage and Putin's hands-on approach to diplomacy. But the real scale of Putin's automotive access becomes clear when we examine the Special Purpose Garage (SPG). Through this subdivision of the Federal Protective Service, Putin has access to a potentially massive fleet fleet of vehicles for official use, with some reports suggesting access to up to 700 cars. While this likely refers to state-managed assets rather than personal ownership, it represents an automotive empire that most car enthusiasts could only dream of. The development story of the Aurus Senat itself is a fascinating tale of national ambition and technological achievement. The project, initiated in 2013 as part of the Cortege initiative, involved collaboration with international firms like Porsche and Bosch for engine technology, highlighting Russia's pragmatic approach to creating world-class automotive technology. What we've explored today represents more than just impressive engineering or luxurious transportation. These vehicles and aircraft are symbols of national power, technological capability, and the absolute determination of these superpowers to protect their leaders at any cost. From Putin's flying Kremlin to the Aurus Senat, we're looking at machines that represent billions of dollars in investment, decades of technological advancement, and the convergence of luxury and security at the highest possible level. The future of presidential transportation promises even more extraordinary developments, as Russia will continue to invest in technologies that push the boundaries of what's possible in terms of protection, luxury, and operational capability. If you enjoyed this video, click on the video showing on your screen to treat yourself to some more.